Okay, and I will call this meeting in order in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, which is available for review on the table in front of the meeting rooms. Tonight's agenda was posted in 3 public locations: the Eagle Municipal Eagle Fire and Rescue and the Eagle Municipal Park. The village board will now stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and those in the audience that wish to participate, please join. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good. Brings us to item number 1, discuss possible action. The chair is to nominate Village of Eagle Board of Trustees to fulfill the remaining of a 4-year term expiring on December 1st, 2026. There was 1 application for it, and I would like to nominate this person, Jennifer Crook. Is there any questions about it or for her? No?
Marcus is a nomination on the table. Anybody have any questions for Jenny? She's in the back of the room if you do. Some of you probably already know her, so. Okay. We will vote on the nomination of Jenny Crook. Voting, Terry?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Marcus?
Yes.
Okay, Jenny, if you want to come on up, join us.
First and second.
I don't think you need them for a nomination. I don't think we did last time. Alright. And then Jenny gets up here, she'll read her oath of office real quick. She's got that with her, so. You can stand and fire away.
Okay. I, Jenny Crook, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Nebraska against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely and without mental reservation or for the purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office of the Eagle Board of Trustees according to law and to the best of my ability. I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence, and that during such time as I am in this position, I will not advocate nor become a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence. So help me God.
Very good, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that brings to item number 2, report for fire and rescue.
Good evening. Since last meeting, we've had 15 calls. So we're on our pace. I think we're at 125. I think we're on our pace for 200 calls this year. Next month, or September's fire rescue training combined. So we have every day in there. So we'll have this meeting in this house. Questions?
We're good. On to item number 3, discuss possible action updates on the new fire and rescue facility.
It's going. Not sure should go in this week. Steel stairs will be in. I'm guessing towards the end of the week. So these stairs on the second floor, both inside and outside. Still right on budget. So.
Have you guys done any more with the, you talked about the bricks for the, you talked about the bricks.
I think we'll do that in a row now.
Okay.
That would be the goal. We'll just leave the sign partially done and go in and have the open house and have the sign up for whatever people want. Memorial bricks and whatever. Fire sign. I think it's just as easier to do it. And so, yeah. So, I think we're looking right at that first week of November. That's where we're sitting at. I try to push it so I know the elections here. So I'm gonna try to get it done last week of October. That way we can just have the fire trucks out here.
This last meeting I brought up as far as trying to get them to stay on their side of the lot line. Has anybody spoken to them?
I've talked to them numerous times, and then they had that locust seal that showed up, and that locust seal was all supposed to get.
I know they got a trailer parked on our side now.
I'll have conversations with them. Sometimes it's dying years. That, like I said, I apologize for it. It gets so tight and we can't get vehicles up to the site, and at one of these points we're ripping out the fence here in another 2 weeks, I think. Then they can come straight on there. So we get out there. And I will say, John, it's probably going to get a little worse before it gets better because we're going to start paving, and we're going to have to.
Well, at some point, they're gonna have to take that south fence down and actually put the road behind it like it's supposed to be.
That's
Now,
how
hopefully that would alleviate some of your problems.
That's what we're going to do after. Once we get the rock shoulders on, we can actually have it halfway secured. That's the goal. Right after.
But we have seen snow in October. Just
We
keep
don't,
that in the back of
we
your
don't talk
mind that
about that. We don't talk about that.
we
So,
don't want them to be in a road if we have suddenly a snowstorm that nobody was really wishing to have. So,
but we should have all the paving until that answers that. So, we should keep
Yeah.
that. So, but I will talk to you again about that.
Anybody else have any questions for me?
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All good. On to item number 4, discuss possible action, consider paving the south lot of the Eagle Municipal Facility containing approximately 11,620 square feet.
I don't doubt that this is a good idea, but shouldn't it be at our budget meeting instead?
Yeah, it's something that I think everybody's talked about a little bit. You're right, it's not in the budget. I think the idea was to see if there's any support for it. If that's something we want to budget for coming up, or, talking to Luke, I think it'd probably be a lot cheaper to do it, obviously now, because they're, pouring the rest of it, but we could at least fetch some numbers and see what it comes in at.
Do we have any, like,
No, we'd probably, is it Fusion Construction?
What's that?
It's doing the concrete?
Yeah. So, I mean, I can talk to him about that. I got a fairly good idea. Probably. I figured this out about square foot.
Yeah, and
It was 6-inch pavement. So,
it's pretty big, it's a pretty big
I
number.
think if you find 6-inch paving, I wouldn't go any more than that. With the loads you put on. And yeah, you're probably looking at something else. Now, maybe it'll get a little bit cheaper.
It's roughly 81.34 or 340,
We definitely don't have that.
between 81 and 82,000.
do we have someplace to put that money from?
would this be something that take bids, get bids for?
If it gets up to that amount, probably. If we weren't going to wrap, if it wasn't part of the bond, and it's not, it's separate. So
Considering we had people driving on those driveway approaches before the time was up, how are you gonna keep them out of there?
it'd be tricky.
That's a much bigger surface area, and you're liable to see some of them that go in there and see if they can do a wheelie on it. It's,
I don't. Yeah. So, yeah. There's not much we can do right now. So, especially if the numbers that high. Like I think we put in the preliminary budget 40, but that's only half of it. So that would do that. So that might be something that gets taxed.
It'd be nice, I just don't see, and especially if they could do it at the same time, might get better pricing, but
Would you like me to get a better pricing, even if we got to do it something?
Yeah, if you could find out, that would be.
yeah,
I mean,
I think we should look into it, sure. Whether or not we do it or not, it's
Yeah.
especially putting this much money into other places right now, currently that, and once we start putting money into this building too, it's gonna be kind of tight.
And how far out are they from concrete? A couple weeks.
yeah, we're gonna need everything once.
Okay. So maybe it wouldn't hurt to at least tell, ask them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always just give myself less.
It's probably not far off, Okay. Yeah.
On to item number 5, public comment. Does anybody have anything for a public comment?
I got something real quick.
Yeah.
Dave Bittler, the World Class Up Interview. Last time I was here visiting with you, I got hold of Terry, Katie,
Caddy?
and left some contact individuals. You guys get a hold of and give me that right away for your subject. I didn't know if you guys are moving forward with that, or maybe I can help.
We're talking to the bike trail.
Yeah, the access to the MOPAC.
Yeah.
I don't know where we left off with that.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really gotten anywhere else with
I
that yet.
wasn't quite sure who would be the best contact, but I left their names and numbers, and I don't know if you reached out or not. If you have a time, I can set up a meeting and have Will come out, and I'll come out with Will and someone, and we can go over what you want to do.
If that's something the board's still interested in, maybe we'll just have
Yeah,
them come out and
I
look.
think it needs to be done, but it would be helpful to have someone here that knows that. And
Would we need somebody
do we
from
also need a
the
developer?
developer at the same time?
Yeah, I think the developer's totally cool with it. They just need permission.
I mean, but can we tell them to do what we want them to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is, you have to get it in fast spot.
Yeah, they jumped the gun a little bit.
Yeah, so, I think it can be fixed, we just need to get all the people in place to make it happen. So,
Okay.
you guys have my card, and
Yep.
you reach out and let me know, and then I'll hear a little bit, I'll reach back out to you guys as well, and we'll try and get something out for you.
That would be great. We'd appreciate your help.
No problem, thank you.
Does anybody else have anything for open forum?
I'd like to say thanks to our kids for the pool this year. They did a great job. We had pretty much 0 issues up there, so we had a good year.
We should also tell everybody
Noah.
that Noah did a great job.
Yep. I thank you to Noah.
We got a letter that he went above and beyond,
I
so.
was gonna save that for committees. But if you want to.
No, that's fine. I
Okay.
just wanted to say.
Okay.
Just a question, the group that met for the sales tax measure, they've been talking about this place. Are there any thoughts or ideas on making it in any time in the future, especially with the budget we're not coming up? I just had other people asking me stuff.
Great question. I think so. We're kind of stuck. We're kind of stuck in that. Oh, that position of trying to figure out how we're going to use the building, which we know from the committee. I don't know how to really go about it. The board probably needs to kind of help decide what are allowable uses for this building. What's going to be considered and what's
Do you
not.
have to wait until we find out?
Well, we got a little time just because sales tax won't even begin being collected until January.
Yeah, but we don't want to spend it before we have it.
Say it again.
We don't want to spend it before we have it either.
No.
One question I do have is there thoughts on something else in the budget? I mean, I think we have to, right, since they were collecting it and spending it.
Yeah, we did put the full, the 500,000 in the budget.
Or will we?
It's basically it's a note to the accountant that it's anticipated we'll take out that loan this year, this fiscal year.
I think the group, I don't know if we ever left off on a plan. I think that's what people have been asking. Are we going to meet again? Are we going to finalize ideas for this place? Because I know there were a lot of good ideas that night.
And then present those to the board and let that's probably a good idea. I might send a message out and see what everybody's availability looks like. Does that sound okay to everyone? Get the group back together. That's what we'll do.
Does anybody else have anything for public comment? Alright, seeing none. On to item number 6, discuss possible action, approve estimate for Christmas and tree service for the removal of 3 trees in the southwest section of the park and trimming of 2 trees adjacent to the ball field in the amount of $3,120.
So this got brought to our attention by the public works guys. There's a few, and I think Marcus went out and saw them visually. There's a few trees, back in that northwest area where they're really starting to drop some pretty big limbs. And the neighbor on Parkview, their fence is going to be in jeopardy if that thing falls right. They're dead or actively
Close
dying.
to.
So that's part of it. That's the tree removals. The other, we just thought while they're down there, one of the complaints we get a lot is at the ball field, there's a lot of big branches that are falling down. We don't want anybody to get hurt, so we thought we'd try to get that canopy raised up a little bit. So that's the majority of the bid. Actually, that's $1,890 out of that total. There's some pretty nasty limbs in there that need, really should go. Probably should have been trimmed years ago, but it's not getting any better. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Well, I'd make the motion to approve Christensen's tree service bid of $3,120 for the work down in the park.
Can I get a second? Any further discussion?
Voting on the motion second to approve the estimate from Christensen Tree Service for the removal of 3 trees in the northwest section of the park and the trimming of 2 trees adjacent to the ball field in the amount of $3,120. Voting on that, Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, sir, we should ask if there's any discussion.
I did.
I did not hear you.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I did ask. I did ask before he.
Well, we have people on this
Okay.
end of the table, so
It's
Sorry.
kind of hard to hear tonight.
Yeah, especially there.
go ahead then, sir.
Okay. Voting, Dan.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Jenny.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried.
On to item number 7, discuss possible action to consider proposal for the installation of a barrier post around the soccer/football field at the Eagle Municipal Park.
Again, I think this is a good idea, but should we save it for our budget meeting?
What's that?
Should we save it for our budget meeting?
We have a matching grant for up to $10,000, so we put $5,000 and they got $5,000 in for the grant.
Oh, so they have that to spend, is what you're
So
saying?
we used roughly 6,000 of it.
So we've
For
paid
the
roughly
goal.
3, right?
So we roughly paid 3 so far, and we have 2,000 of our money, roughly 2,000 of the grant. Yeah, so we have about $4,000 worth. These prices are,
Pretty high.
most of them are a lot more than 1,000. And that would be to go on the north side and the south side, roughly 230 feet, and then the east side going north and south, roughly 146. Might be a little less, might be a little more, but fairly close to that is what most of these bids were all set for. On the very back page, there was a little bit of an alteration. If you wanted to get really close to that $4,000 mark, we would just, there'd be a lot less footage. It would just be 2 sides. So we could either pick the north side or the south side going east and west, and then the east side going north and south. And that would hopefully deter most people from driving across it if we didn't want to spend more. Elizabeth can probably talk a little more on this too.
Yeah, so just to kind of keep going on all of that. So we have approximately the $4 grand from the matching grant, and the park allotted funds to finish this project. So combination posts will be completed soon, and then one of the requests from both coaches from Junior Vice and Alvo Eagle Rec was some kind of barrier so people can't park in that space. So requesting to use the remaining amount of funds to kind of initiate this, or at least set up some kind of perimeters, because the overall bid was too high. So what can we do, and then Alvo Eagle Rec or Junior Vice can hopefully figure out the rest of it,
continuation of
or that can be budgeted down the road.
Is this like, if we don't use this 4,000, we lose it?
I don't know, and I want to get back to Cass County Tourism because I've never gone through the process of a grant before, so I'm not sure if, I'm sure you don't have to take this entire
Well, I'm
amount.
sure you don't.
I'm pretty sure it is a use it or lose it.
But yes, but I don't want it to be.
We don't want to, yeah.
You know,
to go
I think it's usually like a year, isn't it?
So.
But if we just do part of it now and then
Yeah,
later.
we have until October to complete it. I want to check these boxes and get it done, you know, so, that was the plan to use the remainder of the funds.
So if we just say we want to approve the $4,000, can they decide what they want to do with it, or how do we do it?
I mean, honestly, the only bid on here that would make any sense without going way above budget would be bid B on the very back sheet. MI Diggers has some, closer pricing than what we're looking at.
Even there, you're not closing the whole thing in, you're leaving
Right.
either the north or the south side open, and I
Yeah.
guarantee what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so it's,
And if you wanted to too, with this proposal, if you didn't want to go the 234 foot, or you got 220 or 230 foot on one side, you could do partial on both sides, but that doesn't make much sense to me. You might as well go all the way on one side or the other.
Nick, do we have any Keno funds that we could use?
I mean, we do have Keno, but,
And we could always put in, if we wanted to, approve this part of it just to make sure the grant covers it. And like she was saying, we can always continue on later on, figure that into the budget, or hopefully get help from a different organization.
Right, because we have some other things we were gonna put in the budget for that anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully maybe
sure.
a different
So it would probably be
organization.
done before you have
take
to worry
advantage
too
of
much
it.
about it.
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah, that would help, get it started, I suppose. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, my hope is basically to start it, have Alvo Eagle Rec and Junior Bikes continue it. That would be the hope, so.
So if you wanted to, approve, I suppose, using your last $2,000, you could.
so we only have to approve $2,000.
Yeah, because the other two would come from Cass
Yeah.
County, so.
Okay.
That would take care of the budget.
I make a motion that we spend the $2,000 to do whatever Parks and Rec can with their fence requirements.
Is there before we get a second, is there a preference on, with these bids, they could either be a 1-inch rope or a 1/4-inch zinc chain? Is there a preference on which the board would like to use? The rope is a little bit cheaper. It's a marine grade rope that you'd see at like docks and
Does it
parks.
rot out at all?
Everything's gonna either eventually rot or rust. I mean, I don't know honestly which one would last longer. It's
I would
it's
imagine chain
supposed to be
would last longer.
it's the 1-inch rope is supposed to be UV protected. I mean, it's supposed to last
What do
It's
you
what you
guys
see
think?
at net.
I would have a preference for the chain, but if the rope is gonna be cheaper, I think that it might just be more feasible, but I don't know what that delta is between the two.
Yeah,
We're just worried some kid in the pocket left.
I just do the chain.
we can do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's what you guys want, Jane.
And spending that much money and not knowing how it's gonna hold up.
Yeah.
Is kind of scary.
Yep. Okay.
So we do have that motion on the table, Terry. Do you want to are you okay with amending that to, up to $2,000 and then using what type of chain was it?
The zinc
chain?
Zinc, 1/4-inch zinc.
Yep.
Okay, got a second on that at all?
I'll second.
So with this motion, we're just, if the park decides to make it right at that 4,000, because we can, going off the 2 1/4-inch one, we have one at 43, so 1790, and then one at 3802. We could do the 38, and do we want to add some post on the south side to get right up to that 4,000? If we, going off Terry's saying at the 4,000, we could do that. Is that all right?
I would think so. I'd do
So
it.
we could,
So we could add a
I
couple
think-
more posts
Use
just
your-
to make
Yeah, I
sure.
think you let
Use
them
your
What's your deadline for actually using that 4,000?
October of next year.
So, just to get right at whatever the $4,000 will get us then, correct? Just want to make sure I had clarification on that. So, all right, is there any further discussion or comments?
I'd prefer it be carried over and you did the whole work at once, let's close on all ends, but that's just my opinion.
Well, if the money doesn't have to be spent till next October, is that a better option?
That's why I asked what the deadline was and I heard October.
running the project, I would prefer to do what we can now and continue it at a later date. I would like to check the boxes for the grant and get it completely taken care of and not sit on projects until next year.
Might just look to finish it up next year, maybe. Next
Right.
year's
Well, yeah,
budget.
it's not something that you can't continue.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments? Vote.
Specify which bid did you go with?
Well, I think the one they're looking at is on bid B number 4, but then they may be able to add more. Oh, sorry.
It's not labeled online.
So it's MI Diggers, and it says bid B on the very top right corner. It might be the very last page.
It's $3,800, Travis.
Yeah, 380234. Find it. So, anything else? Voting on the motion second to approve up to $2,000 for the installation of barrier posts with the, let me find it again. Where's your chain thing? What kind of chain is it? Zinc chain, 1/4 inch zinc chain for the, around the soccer and football field at Eagle Municipal Park. Does that sound good? Voting on that, Dan,
Yes.
John,
No,
Jenny,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Marcus.
Abstain.
Motion carried.
On to item number 8, discuss possible action, consider interest in receiving a formal proposal for a 12-month community development innovative focus on residential involvement, volunteer retention, and community coordination.
Yeah, so,
Hello.
we have Randy in the
My
back.
name
There
is
you go.
Brady Jordan. You guys have met me before. I am a rural community developer. And in February of 2025, I introduced myself to this board as a rural community developer specializing in social capital and explained that I was assessing where I might be useful in Eagle. A week later, I participated in the MAPA strategic planning workshop with the board and other residents where we talked about ownership, transparency, collaboration, and social capital. On March 4th, the board formally discussed options to partner with me as a rural community developer. That conversation ended with, "We'll keep that in mind." Since then, I have another year and a half to see how those issues actually show up in Eagle. Eagle has had several opportunities to see pieces of the work I'm talking about. During the disagreement over backyard chickens, I offered to facilitate conversations between residents and village leadership before the conflict escalated. That offer was declined. The disagreement did not disappear. It continued and became increasingly adversarial. In December of 2025, I organized Eagle Forward. 5 Eagle residents attended, 4 of whom were already serving in leadership roles around the community. And much of the discussion centered around the same question: how do we get and keep more volunteers? We talked about ownership, better coordination among organizations, and giving people meaningful ways to contribute. A small business and side hustle event even emerged as one idea. That idea later reached a parks and recreation agenda, but the broader questions I raised about ownership, implementation, decision making, and who would carry the work forward remain. Those experiences helped me recognize something important. What I've seen is not a lack of people who care about Eagle. I've seen longtime volunteers disengage while still caring about the community. Knowledge and responsibility become concentrated to too few people, and good ideas struggle when it comes time to establish ownership, coordinate people, and carry the work forward. There is an administrative side to this as well. Eagle has a small staff responsible for a wide range of municipal functions. As the village grows, there's only so much additional coordination, community development, communication, grant work, and project support that can reasonably be absorbed into existing responsibilities. That does not mean Eagle lacks capable people. it means capacity has its limits. Boards, staff, committee members, and volunteers all change over time. The systems that carry knowledge, relationships, and community participation have to be strong enough to outlast any one group of people. The individual problems keep changing, but the same underlying gaps keep resurfacing. Volunteer retention, leadership development, knowledge transfer, coordination, conflict navigation, resident involvement, and follow-through. Professionally, what I'm describing is community capacity development. In plain English, it means strengthening the people, the relationships, leadership, knowledge, and systems that allow Eagle to keep accomplishing things for itself. Part of that work is helping people learn from what they are already doing, document what works, and carry those lessons into the next project instead of starting over each time. That work is not separate from comprehensive planning, economic development, grant opportunities, or future community projects. It is the local capacity that allows those things to move from an idea or a plan into something the community can actually carry forward and sustain. And I think that matters especially because Eagle has repeatedly said that it wants to preserve its small, rural town character. That character is not only about density, land use, or what Eagle physically looks like. What makes a small community feel like a community is not simply its size, it's its interconnectedness. It is people knowing one another, sharing information, having somewhere to belong, being able to contribute, developing local leaders, and believing that they have a meaningful place in the life of their community. Eagle already has a great deal of that. The challenge is preserving and strengthening it as the village grows rather than assuming that physical growth will carry it to the social fabric with it. The larger Eagle becomes, the more intentional the community will have to be about maintaining those connections and creating ways for new people to become part of them. That is not about making Eagle operate like a larger city. It is a small community. In a small community, capacity can matter even more because fewer staff members, volunteers, and local leaders are often carrying multiple responsibilities. When one person leaves, burns out, or simply isn't available, the effect can be much larger. The goal is not to make Eagle more like somewhere else. It is to strengthen Eagle's ability to continue functioning as Eagle as it grows. That is why I'm bringing this back now. I'm not suggesting that hiring me 18 months ago would have magically prevented every conflict or solved every problem. I am saying that Eagle keeps encountering different versions of the same underlying capacity problem, and I now have a much clearer understanding of what professional work addressing that problem would involve. I am also not asking the board tonight to create a position, approve a salary, or commit to a 12-month program. Developing a responsible proposal would take considerably more work, and I don't think that it makes sense for me to do that unless the board is genuinely interested in considering it. For that work to be useful, there has to be room for what we learn to influence what happens next, including when the findings are unexpected or uncomfortable, and for residents to understand what happened with the input that they provided. So my question tonight is simple. Does the board want to explore this further? If the answer is yes, I will develop a formal proposal for a 12-month community development initiative outlining the scope of work, how I would work with the board and village staff, expected outcomes, timeline, resources, possible funding structures, and costs. Then you can decide whether the actual proposal makes sense for Eagle. If the answer is no, I would rather know that.
What do we think?
I don't think it's for us.
Dale?
I don't know. I'm not for sure.
John?
Biggest thing I'd have to mention is, hey, last 2 weeks, we will go ahead and have a budget meeting How can you include anything that you got no idea what the amount is? So with that in mind, I'd have to say the time being, I would pass for that very same reason.
Jennifer?
Kind of my thought as well. We don't know any specifics other than, I guess, what has been brought to the board before.
I would say the answer is no.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Accept your position. Thank you for your time. That being said, if any Eagle residents or community organizations would like to continue a conversation about these issues that I raised tonight, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. On to item number 9, reports from street maintenance.
I don't have a report this month. Terry, you kind of might know a little bit what's going on.
They set up cones and barricades for the approach work, took all those down today. As John mentioned earlier, people were driving on their approaches the day after the concrete was poured, so if there are problems, they may have created them themselves. I think fire hydrant flushing's basically done. We did get a report today that they still have, what was it, E. coli or coliform?
Just call it for him.
Coliform in the water samples out at, that People Service have been taking out of Nichols Landing, so they haven't solved that problem yet.
They need to flush more.
Yeah, they need to flush more inactivity in the line.
Yeah.
Today, and I didn't see it, but they finished cleaning up 6th and G property, took the concrete slab out and cleaned it up. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but they said it was all clean. They brought in just a little bit of dirt, leveled it off. They told me, I said, grab some grass seed and get that spread on there so we can get some green growing. I'll throw my 2 cents worth in. I think the village ought to look at maybe short-term, long-term, however you look at it, maybe putting that property up for sale if it's not combined into anything. It's a viable property for a house. Not an ideal property, but that's up to the person that buys it, the builder. Really has designed a house that would fit on that property. So something to keep in mind. It's not real functional for the village, in my personal opinion. We've been having a little bit of trouble. I'm going down to wells now.
Let's back up and stay where you are.
Okay.
We have on our water bills about blowing grass in the streets. If you go out there and you take a look around right now, that's being done everywhere. And the worst one I've seen actually is tonight over here on 2nd and E, northwest corner. They blew it both onto E Street and onto 2nd Street as well, and I don't mean just a little. It's gone to it. Now, what are we going to do for enforcement is what this board has to decide if we're going to enforce anything. But otherwise, it's a waste of time putting it on a water bill. Nobody's going to pay any attention to it. And it needs to be addressed.
There's some municipalities, have an ordinance specifically for that cause. We have an ordinance, it's kind of loose. I think if it's something that the board would want to do, we probably need to look at drafting an ordinance specifically for that cause and attach a fine schedule with it.
And then you're going to have to decide, well, how much do you allow and how much don't you? I mean, where do you draw the line?
Along those-
Not safe.
I think Nick and I both know it's worse this year than I think it's ever been.
But because the grass has a lot of rain on it, and but they just continue to mow.
Along those similar lines, also maybe look at addressing trees and bushes that overgrow sidewalks and alleys and streets and stuff like that.
And we do have a code on that one. That one's going to take probably just staff going out and knocking them all out.
especially with school starting again, a lot of the kids are on the sidewalks again, walking to
Still
school.
am gonna put that on the agenda, or on the Facebook. I haven't done that yet, but it's on my notes. But yes, I agree. Sidewalk obstructions.
But that's all I had, so we need to address it somehow.
You say second and D or E?
Second and E.
E Street.
You ain't gonna have to look very hard to see it. You can probably see it from a half a block away.
Does anybody else have anything for streets and maintenance? On item number 10, discuss wells and sewers.
The only thing I know about wells, Kurt did take the drawdown test last week. I didn't hear how it was, but it's stayed pretty consistent, which is good. But we may be having a little issue. The last 2 weeks, we had the fuse on the transformer pool on OPPD side below, because we have 3 lines coming in. One of them blows. And Bryce indicated this morning that when, I don't know which way, one of the wells comes on, that's when it blows. So I don't know if that's coincidence, if there's a power surge causing it, or we have a motor problem in the pump. Like, I don't even know if they have a capacitor type start, if they have a capacitor type start, if the capacitor happened to be out in the drive, an enormous amount of power, and that might be tripping. So I don't know what's going on, but that's happened last week, and what was it, Saturday?
2 weekends in a row,
2
yeah.
weekends in a row.
So they did shut the one off just to see if it does it again. So, we'll see.
But above and beyond that, I think everything, water, sewers, okay. I think the board knows we did get the dead service from Perry Bristy's.
Oh,
Dug out the
that service line.
Yep.
service line. Yep. That's it.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? On to item number 11, discuss possible action, approve or deny minutes as typed for previous meeting.
Motion approved of minutes as typed.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Voting to approve the minutes. Terry,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Jenny,
And abstain.
and Marcus. Yes, motion carried.
On to item number 12, discuss or report from committees and boards. Anybody have any? I got one thing for committees and boards. We received a letter from a couple that was traveling and biking down the bike path, and Noah here pretty much may have saved her life. And they wrote a letter to make sure we knew about it.
I get to see it.
Everybody should have had one in their packets to look at, so yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very nice.
Good job.
yes, I want to thank Noah very much for going
Well done.
above, more than above and beyond all the duties, so.
And I have had nothing but good comments about the bowl this year.
I shared this on a couple Facebook things, and yeah, there's been many people that have commented on how they love how Noah reacts to everything and participates and volunteers, and so I'd like to thank Noah personally and keep up the good work.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You make us look good.
Does anybody else have anything for committees and boards?
Not a lot. Planning Commission does meet on September 2nd. I'm gonna have a couple things on there. You'll have the South Development, final plat, and then we're also gonna have
The update
the
of building code.
building codes, and the third thing is that rural subdivision that's kind of
both county and village. I think we got to do something with that too, and I'll give it Maureen on that for more specifics. But there'll be a few different things they're addressing that night, and you guys will hear the same on the 21st of September.
Just say, make sure it dries up, not now, because it was muddy when Dick and I were out there, but you get around it. Go out to the south end of the new development and get a feel for it, look at it, look at the outlaws, look at the drainage, etc., so you know what's going on. Sean brought up something that I've forgotten about, but I have to look at it for the planning commission, but visit with the attorney about it. But the big sign, the bank sign there on the west edge of the property by the highway, how we're going to deal with that. So, like I said, look around, pay attention, know what's how it looks and how it's going to be developed.
I drove out there last week, and yeah, we got some pretty good size. I'll have to reassert that I want to keep, or have them keep in mind, or somebody keep in mind about mosquitoes with those retention ponds. Make sure somebody has that plan to treat it a little bit. There can be a lot of stagnant water there for them, but be like the park where we have to treat that. So.
Got one little last thing, and I don't even know which board it fits in, perhaps it fits in HR, maybe it doesn't. As far as FEMA goes, they have a requirement that all board members have to go ahead and be certified in their exams. And you can read through it, I mean, I think Dan is and I am, but I don't know about anybody else. So when it comes time to apply for any funds, if and when that were ever to happen, that might work against us.
How do you go about that?
I'll get you that information. Yeah, it's there's certain ones you have to take as a board member, and there's certain ones somebody has to take as a water operator. So I think our staff's behind too. I don't know that Bryce and Kurt have even taken it honestly.
I don't think they have, but they might have taken it on the side, and I don't know, maybe they're required to too.
Yeah, we'll get those whipped. Yeah, we're behind on those. So
I'll put that on your little agenda, that to check in on that, because if that ever comes, and we certainly hope not, we don't want it to hold back on us because of that.
yeah, no,
We probably should look into our cards too. I know we used to have cards from Cass County in case there was ever a disaster or anything.
yeah, are they still issuing those?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, ours are
We
really
haven't
old.
done
So
it. I mean, it's the same thing that the fire department gets.
you guys still have them?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Oh, I could show you mine later. Mine's really old though. It's probably 10 years old, but yeah.
Can you get this?
Alright, anything else for committees and boards? Meeting adjourned, 7:48.
So you're gonna budget meetings coming up, you're aware of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Just wanted to be sure.
Yes, thank you.
There's a picture of.
On this project, you could probably just email me and I'll coordinate or call. It doesn't matter. But it's Nick.
Took care
Eagle
of that last
in
week.
E.
I guess not.
That's all we
Yeah,
got.
it looks like. Yeah.
I still think we should. Next year's budget.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. We can always budget it to finish it, and I'm not. It's the lowest price I can put in there already. So I mean, to continue on, it isn't going to cost anything extra to have it two trips than one.
So what did it decide as far whether it's a chain or whether it's a
Chain. Quarter inch now, and that's why I was.
1 inch root would be much easier to go. And if somebody drives through and even though they're supposed to, they're liable because it's not properly.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's why I'm saying 1 inch
That's why I kind of tried to. I'm not hard set. I lean towards the rope myself.
Like, I just want to get the grades done.
I just don't want to.
Yep, no, I agree.